Okay, right. I want to address the first question about writing things like sine 150 in terms of an acute angle. So an acute angle is less than 90 degrees. Right. Now, I want you to have a wee look at the sine graph, and this will maybe help me explain where this comes from. Right, if I look at sine 150, right, there's about 150, just 30 degrees short of 180 there on the x-axis. So sine 150 is there, okay. There's sine 150 on the sine graph. Right, now due to the symmetry of the graph, we have another value that is the same as sine 150, and you'll see that if I draw a line across there, we've got another value here that is also got the exact same value as sine 150. Okay, and because of the symmetry of the graph, because I've gone, to get to 150, I've gone back 30 degrees here from 180, that means that that must be forward 30 degrees there from 0. So that tells me that sine 150 is the exact same thing as sine 30. Okay, because if you look at it in the graph, sine 150 is there, and if I draw a straight line across, I've got another value using the symmetry of the graph there, which is also the same as sine 150, which would be sine 30. Okay, so because I've moved 30 degrees back from 180, I've got to move up 30 degrees from 0, which gives me the same answer because of the symmetry. Okay, right, next one's cos 220. Right, let's look at cos 220 on the cosine graph. So cos 220 is round about there, okay. It's down there on the graph. Okay, now if we draw a line across, we can see that we've got another value that's the same as cos 220. So 180 plus 40 takes us to 220. So using the symmetry of the graph, because it's symmetrical round about 180, I would take away 40 to get to here. So that would be the same as cos 140. So cos 220 is the exact same thing as cos 140. Okay, now that's not much good for me because I really want, the questions ask me to write it in terms of an acute angle. Okay, now if we look and we go back to the acute angles here, okay, so if we continued our line from and go back to our acute angles here, we'll see there's no values. Cos isn't down here for the acute part of the graph between 0 and 90. So that creates a problem. So the cos graph, y equals cos x, doesn't have a value for an acute angle there, down there in the graph. But if I flip the graph over and I drew the graph of minus cos x, okay, now minus cos x is the same as cos x, but it's been flipped over, okay. So there I've sort of drawn it in green. There's minus cos x, okay. So there's my graph of minus cos x. That's the graph of y equal to minus cos x, okay. Now, if we look at minus cos x does have a value there, okay. There it is, okay. And again, using the symmetry of the graph, right, it will be 40 degrees. Just like these were 40 degrees from 180, just like that when there was 40 degrees up from 180, this graph here will be 40 degrees up from 0. So that tells me that cos 220 is the same thing. So cos 220 is the same thing as minus cos 40. Okay, because when I look at the graph of minus cos, it's got an answer in line there with cos 220. Okay, so that'll be the same as minus cos 40. Okay, right. The next one was tan 325. Okay, so tan 325. So I'm going to look at my graph here to find tan 325. Right, so there's tan 360 here. There's 270 there, so 325 is going to be round about there. Okay, there's We'll say that's 325 there in the tan graph, okay? So again, I can extend a line, a horizontal line, and I see that I've got an answer there that's the same. Okay, you see that? You're drawing a horizontal line. I know my line's not very straight there. Okay, it's a bit better. I've got another answer there. So if I take 360 here, okay, I know that 325 is 45 degrees back the way there from 360. Okay, 45 degrees back the way. So from 180, this will be 45 degrees back the way, so that would be 135. Okay, that would be 135 degrees there. Okay, 135. So tan, from there I can see that tan 325 is the same as tan 135. Okay, they're the same thing. Okay, just by using the symmetry of the graph there. Okay. Now, again, that's not helpful because the questions want me in terms of an acute angle. So if I go into the acute part of the graph here, once again I see that I don't really have any values here below the x-axis for tan. All the answers are positive. So what I need to do is I need to switch the graph round. I need to draw the negative graph. So when I draw a negative tan graph, it's going to look like that. Okay, that's the graph of y equals minus tan x. Okay, that's the graph of y equals minus tan x. And I can see that by extending my line across here, I do get an answer there. Okay, I do get an answer there for tan. Okay, now how do I get the answer for that? Well, if I think about it, I've gone back 45 degrees here. So because of the symmetry of the graph, I'll be going forward 45 degrees here. So that effectively is 45 degrees there on my x-axis. So tan 325 was equal to tan 135. We saw that, it's the grey parts. But we didn't have an acute angle here, so we had to invert the graph. We had to do minus tan. Okay, and we see that that's got the same value as minus tan 45. So tan 325 is equal to minus tan 45 degrees. Okay, right. Now, that is where those answers come from. I hope that that's helpful. I'm going to maybe do one more example of each just to quickly help you a wee bit further. Okay, right. Say I wanted another, say I've got something like a cos 300. And I want to write cos 300 in terms of the acute angles for cos. Okay, so 300 is going to be roughly here. There's 300 there. Let's say that's 300. Okay, so there's 300 there. Okay, now what I do is I take the graph and I draw the line across, and I see that I've got another answer for 300 in the same place there. Okay, now how did I get that? Well, 300 was 60 degrees back using the symmetry. 60 degrees back takes me to 300, so 60 degrees forward would take me to here. Okay, so that tells me that cos 300 is the same thing as cos 60. Okay, and in the same way, sine. Okay, if I want an acute answer for a sine 300, I'll make it sine 330 actually. Okay, so say I want sine 330. Okay, so sine 330 is round about here, I'll say. Okay, there's 330 there. Okay, 30 degrees back from 60. Now if I go I see that I've got another one here, okay, which would be 180 plus 30, so that's 2 tens get the same value, but that's not an acute angle, so that's not any good to me. So I've got to go along here. Now, if I look between 0 and 90, the sine graph doesn't go between 0 and 90, so what I need to do is I need to take into account my minus sine graph, okay, which will go there. Okay, there's my minus sine graph. It's just the same as sine flipped round. So if I go to my minus sine graph, I see I get another 2 values here and here. Okay, so all those values are in the same line there. Okay, all those values there are the same. So I've got one here at 150. Now, that's not any good to me because it's not an acute angle. But if I go along here, I'll also have one at 30 degrees, okay, along 30 degrees, because remember I went back 30 degrees to get to 330. I went back 30 degrees to get to 330, okay, so I would have to go forward 30 degrees from 0. So sine 330 is going to be the exact same thing as minus sine 30. Okay, sine 330 will be the same as minus sine 30. Okay, right, I hope that helps.